Delmarva Today with Don Rush.
I am on the leadership team of Asbury United Methodist Church on Camden Avenue, and I'm the point person on a project that the church decided to pursue, which was adopting an Afghan refugee family.
So tell me a little bit about that decision to do that, and how did you get this ball rolling?
Um, the church was, as many people know, the Methodist Church is in a real state of flux and division over some theological issues. And Asbury has largely gone beyond that and wanted to figure out a way to positively energize the church community and be effective in what we consider to be our call to spread love through the world.
So what were the mechanics then of making this happen?
Well, many years ago in the late 70s, I was part of a church congregation that adopted a Southeastern Asian family. The older people would remember the boat people. And at that time, we worked with an organization called Church World Service. So I just called Church World Service. Actually, I first called the United Methodist Committee on Overseas Relief, and I learned that with regard to the Afghans, they had kind of subcontracted, if the word, to Church World Service to handle the United Methodist Church's response to the need for Afghans.
So when Nazim here came to the United States, I mean, what was that? What was that like in terms of meeting him and his family, and particularly given the kind of ordeal that he has already gone through?
Well, I have to back up a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
The services for refugees are centered in the Baltimore-Washington corridor. So there was considerable reluctance on the part of the refugee coordinator for the state of Maryland to allow a person to come so far away to the Eastern Shore. We had connected before the pandemic with the Delmarva Muslim community on trying to figure out how to just get to know each other. And so we saw this as an opportunity, and we kind of put our heads together, and we came up with incredible resources, both financial and people that are very educated in child development and doctors and just an incredible committee of people. And when I presented that to the refugee coordinator for the state of Maryland, he said, "Well, if you'll bring them up to Baltimore for 2 health checks, we'll go ahead." So that was. There's a story in the Bible about the persistent widow going before the judge, and I was the persistent, annoying widow.
So what was your reaction when you met his family?
Well, as luck or whatever would have it, I got COVID the day before they were to arrive. So I got to sit in a van 30 feet away and see them arrive. And I have to tell you, I cried. A grown man, I just cried. It just made me so happy. And I got a call from Azim, and he said, "I keep hearing about this person, and you have to come over here." So finally, when we were clear from COVID, we went. It's been a happy interchange since then.
What was it like to meet his family?
Well, it was just wonderful. I mean, we are so incredibly lucky to be able to sponsor them. Everybody that meets them just loves them. We were expecting people that could not speak English at all, and what did we get? We got a translator, a person that had worked as a translator. The children came off the bus speaking to our people. So every time we get in some little thing where it's a little difficult to get something organized or moving through, I think, oh my goodness, what it would be like to deal with this if we had to deal with a translator. And then we've just been incredibly lucky because of the involvement of Salisbury University. Professor Brian Stigler has been involved with us, and we just have had so many opportunities, tutoring for the children, and a job for Azim, and another job for his brother-in-law probably, and it's just been heartwarming.
What kind of work does Azim? What kind of job does Azim have?
I'm working in SU and storekeeper as a storekeeper right now.
Okay, at the store, at the student store
And
kind of
dining
thing.
services.
Okay.
Dining services.
Dining service.
Dining
Okay.
services.
Okay.
So
And-
I think mostly a good deal with stocking Chick-fil-A. So if you go to
Yeah.
Chick-fil-A, you might see Azim bringing things
Chick-fil-A
in.
and cool beans.
And cold beans. Okay.
Yeah.
Both. Do you finally, Charles? Do you think you will invite any more Afghan families, or is this for the moment?
Well,
Think.
we're holding options open. There may be a need. When our experience in Newark, Delaware, with Newark Methodist Church was that we sponsored an initial family, and then we had a few very close relatives that we helped out, and that there were other friends and more distant relationships for whom we found other sponsors. But this is not this. There's one other thing I want to add. The United States State Department, because of President Biden's commitment to the Afghan refugees, enlisted the aid and support of 9 refugee agencies, of which Church World Service is just one. There's Lutheran Social Services and the Catholic Charities and other organizations, a Jewish immigrant asylee organization. And so I do want to just acknowledge that we're just one part of a small of a large system, one small part of a really large system. So I think that we would want to try to help other organizations do what we do. But what I started to say, and slipped my mind, the State Department, the U.S. State Department, calls this 90 days to independence, which is completely unrealistic. It is years, and we want to be able to concentrate on the Sawari family and the brother-in-law, and not dilute it, because it does take time, and just because of the communications issues, it takes time to sort things out. But
Okay.
we are just so incredibly lucky to have them and have people with skills. A person that took the initiative to set up a school in the refugee camp. We're just really lucky.
Delmarva Today with Don Rush.